Can you talk us through what happened on this flight?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 worst apologies from airlines.
Women in bikinis.
Women in bikinis is part of the travel industry.
I don't understand why the requirement to be within this clothing size range is such a mission impossible.
But the American Airlines customers we spoke with back the passenger.
For this list, we'll be looking at underwhelming or notably absent apologies from airlines in the wake of scandals and controversies. Some airlines could have overpopulated this list, you might know who we're talking about, so we'll limit it to one entry per company. What do you think was the worst apology given by an airline? Any we missed? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Social media clapback. Qantas.
The management's been stinking, lousy and rotten. Throw them out.
You have to feel sorry for the employees running these social media accounts. Back in 2011, the Australian airline Qantas was running a Twitter contest called #QantasLuxury. The aim was to have their customers tweet their dream flying experience with the company for a chance to win a first-class flight with some branded pajamas. The internet responded, but not in the way they wanted. The hashtag was flooded with complaints stemming from their battles with labor unions and a recent grounding of their fleet that resulted in massive cancellations and left many stranded.
We're very disappointed, disgusted, not from the workers, from the up-high people.
Their response? A spokesperson noted that some people had legitimately entered the competition and assured customers that services have returned to normal.
What would take off?
Number 9. Pee on seats. British Airways. Flying can already be an uncomfortable experience, cramped in small seats with lots of people. The last thing you want is to sit down and realize there's urine seeping through your trousers.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's pee-pee time.
In 2017, this happened to IT consultant Andrew Wilkinson, who shared an image of his pee-stained seat on social media. He notified staff of the issue, who proceeded to bring back some wipes to clean it up himself. When he asked to swap seats, the staff just laughed at him.
Hey, what the hell is happening? This isn't funny.
The worst part? It was an 11-hour flight that cost £1,200. This isn't the only incident that screwed customers over, as computer glitches have left travelers abandoned on multiple occasions.
This just shows a failure of British Airways to invest in appropriate infrastructure, and especially on information technology.
Number 8. Medical mistake. Emirates.
We're here to take care of you.
Traveling with a disability is hard enough without people messing with you about it because they don't understand. Isabel Kumar and her family were about to fly from Dubai to Lyon, France in 2018 when they were asked to deboard. The reason? Kumar's son has epilepsy and autism. Despite Kumar producing his medical certificate to fly and verifying it with their doctor over the phone, Emirates left them behind. But Isabel worked for Euronews, so she tweeted about the events and it went viral. Emirates apologized and got them on a flight the next day to Geneva, Switzerland. They had to complete the rest of their journey by rent-a-car. What would have happened if she wasn't a journalist?
After this, you mentioned the apology, but really Emirates hasn't shown any form of contrition, in my opinion. It was a slightly robotic kind of apology, and I hope Emirates will apologise properly and say quite clearly and acknowledge that people with disabilities should not be treated in this way.
Number 7. Twitter beef. EasyJet. You know whenever someone talks trash about you online and you naturally treat them differently when you see them?
Now I like you. Now I like you.
Well, it's different when it's a commercial airline and you've paid for a ticket. Mark Leeser was waiting at the gate when he decided to call out EasyJet on Twitter for not being more accommodating to his veteran friend. Well, allegedly, the staff at the gate didn't appreciate him airing his grievances. According to Leeser, they initially refused him access to the plane, although the airline said that wasn't the case. They ultimately did let him fly, but not before the story started flying about.
Okay, just calm down.
I am calm.
EasyJet tried to make it up to Leeser, but the damage was already done in the public's eye. Number 6. Baby buggy. American Airlines. During an American Airlines flight, there was a debacle about whether a mother would be able to bring her stroller onto the aircraft. According to the airline, she had been told to check in the stroller at the gate.
You can't use my on it, baby. Just give me back my stroller, please.
An altercation began when a flight attendant reportedly ripped the stroller out of the mother's hand, striking her with it and almost hitting her baby. The video that was shared online showed people trying to de-escalate and another passenger standing up for the woman.
Hey, bud, you do that to me and I'll knock you flat.
Stay out of
The airline reported the woman was upgraded to first class for the rest of her journey, suspended the employee, and apologized. But that won't do much for the company's PR.
While that male passenger was making no apologies.
A baby almost got hurt. That's what just fired me up.
Number 5. COVID response. Virgin Australia. The coronavirus pandemic has shaken the world, requiring governments, companies, and ordinary people to take serious precautions to avoid the spread of the virus.
At Virgin Australia, the safety and well-being of our guests has never been more important to us. That's why we're introducing changes to our customer journey to minimise risks associated with COVID-19 and to help you feel more comfortable and confident when flying with us.
But some companies have shown more concern than others. Aer Lingus had to smooth things over on social media over poor social distancing. Virgin Australia had to do the same for their CEO, Jane Hardlichka.
Thank you for flying with us today.
Arguing in favor of opening Australian borders once vaccination rates are higher, she said, "Some people may die, but it will be way smaller than the flu." These comments didn't go over well as they seemed to trivialize fatal cases in the interest of Virgin Australia's profits. The company didn't apologize, but instead issued a generic statement on safety. Number 4. Banned ads. Ryanair. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary has a history of using, let's say, direct language when addressing customer complaints.
Correct me if I'm wrong, of course.
Never, Kirsty, surely.
So you kind of know what to expect from the rest of the company. One of Europe's premier budget airlines, Ryanair felt that they could appeal to their demographic with a newspaper campaign that used scantily clad women to represent their cabin crew. The company claims that these images were pulled from their 2012 charity calendar. The airline didn't apologize, claiming that since the crew members volunteered to take part, it shouldn't be deemed offensive. The Advertising Standards Authority ended up banning the ads. Number 3. Sacrificing a goat. Pakistan International Airlines. A recent crash had shaken workers, so the crew of this Pakistan Airlines flight cut the throat of a black goat on the tarmac. Admittedly, this was quite alarming, and the story circulated quickly. A spokesperson for the airline reported that this was done to show gratitude for the recently grounded aircraft flying again, while others report that it was to ward off evil spirits. The reaction from the public was a mix of humor and defense, as animal sacrifice does have ties to Islamic tradition. Regardless of how traumatic it might have been to passengers, all that was offered was the clarification that it wasn't a management-level decision.
We are Pakistan International Airlines. We are great people to fly with.
Number 2. Body discrimination. Aeroflot. In 2017, 2 female flight attendants took Russian Airlines, or Aeroflot, to court over discrimination.
The women have already filed complaints to the prosecutor's office and Russian President Vladimir Putin himself.
The woman claims that the airline had moved them from longer, higher-paying flights to short domestic routes because of their weight.
I didn't fly international flights because they said I am fat, ugly, and old.
Your boss said that to you?
Yes.
Flight attendants had apparently been photographed, measured, and weighed. The airline won the court case, insisting that it hadn't discriminated. But later, 2 representatives said that their customers preferred women who fit into smaller clothing sizes and that the attendants could easily just lose weight.
At a news conference last week, a representative from Aeroflot's Public Council encouraged larger stewardesses to find another job or to lose weight like he had.
It didn't require any active exercise or expensive supplements or anything that would require spending a lot of money. I just corrected my meal plan. Now I weigh 80 kilograms.
Aeroflot didn't apologize, instead arguing that these comments were individual opinions.
The case shines a light on gender roles and divisions in modern Russia.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Forcibly removing a passenger. United Airlines.
Oh my God!
Good work, guys. Good work. Way to go.
This is horrible.
United Airlines has a history of poor decisions, like refusing to let 2 teenage girls and a child board because they were wearing leggings. But it gets worse. In April 2017, passengers were offered travel vouchers to vacate their seats to make room for airline staff, but all declined. So, 4 passengers were selected at random to be removed. One was Dr. David Dow, who refused to leave as he needed to see patients the next day.
Then he makes it clear he's not giving up his seat.
No, I'm not going.
Members of the Chicago Department of Aviation Security dragged him off the aircraft, striking him against an armrest and rendering him unconscious. United CEO Oscar Munoz first tried to justify the decision before issuing a public apology.
Several hours later, in an email to employees that included a timeline of the incident, the United CEO claimed, quote, "This situation was unfortunately compounded when one of the passengers was politely asked to deplane, refused." CEO went on to say, "While I deeply regret the situation arose, I also emphatically stand behind all of you and I commend you for continuing to go above and beyond to ensure we fly right."
United also tried to compensate passengers for their flight in return for dropping lawsuits.
United is now the one taking a beating, and it's the internet that's unfriendly.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.